missed. So yeah, it tells you as well the players that we missed for 3 or 4 months, which are really, really important for us.
I was just going to say, actually, is it an answer? Does it put a bit of more context around how well you've done to be second? You've done it without Martinelli, who's must have been man of the match tonight. You've done it without Bukayo Saka.
I understand that outside probably you don't recognize that, but we know that the players that we miss and some others that we are not even talking about, Gabriel Jesus, Bukayo 4 months out, but we've done it because as a team we are so strong. I think the culture is so strong, and the willingness to, in any context, adapt and go for it is always there, present every day.
Of course, it wouldn't be this season if there wasn't some bad news as well. I mean, it's true, isn't it? How's Gabriel?
Yeah, worried because he never wants to come off, and he had to. He's not very sure about how big it is and what it's exactly, but he felt that he could not continue.
Was it hamstring?
Yeah, he felt something there, yeah.
Hard to see him making Real Madrid next week, is it?
Depends. I mean, he's a week there, but I think I would say today, the way he is normally, difficult, but let's see.
And during Timber, last question, we went down twice and then went off in the end. How's he?
He was struggling earlier. So yesterday as well, he wasn't at his best, but we lost Ben as well the day before, so he did a big effort to try to play, and he could not continue.
Yeah, worrying times there with a couple of injuries, but we are going to talk about Saka, because we have to talk about Saka. It was such a special moment, wasn't it, when he finally came on, and the reception he received from the fans was just incredible.
Well, because he means the world to the club, and I think you can see that with his stats, where he's come from, the ALN, everything that he does, his progression in the club, the fact that he's turned into a world-class striker. You know, everybody's worried about, you know, the injury when it happened, but again, you know, he's come on and he's proved why they call him the star boy. I think it's fantastic play from Martinelli, but it's the run from Marino, which Kaz told me about when I didn't really see it, which opened the space up. That flick, I think he was going for goal, but Saka does what all good wingers do. When the other wingers getting ready to cross, or when a cross is coming from the other side, you make sure you cover that back post, and he's done it brilliantly and got a tap in, which is everything he's deserved in respects of the way he's probably worked so hard to get himself back. Brilliant.
6 minutes and 34 seconds after coming on, and you can just see that moment when everything's in. I love that celebration, Kaz.
Yeah, you spoke about the reception in the crowd, listening when he came on with us here. So it's great, and I love that he's gone to the people that have helped him get back on the pitch, but he's helped himself. He's classy, he's professional, and looks an absolute humble gentleman. So, and his stats are frightening.
They are frightening, aren't they? And I guess only he knows, and you guys will know because you've experienced it in your respective careers, when you do have some time out with an injury, only you know what you have to go through to get back. Yeah. And it must be really hard, not just physically, but mentally as well.
It is mental. And then mentally it is very, very taxing on you, simply because there's so much pressure on a player like him who's got an injury, what needed surgery on an hamstring, so you know that it's a pretty serious one. And you're hoping that he's going to come back to the same levels. But what people don't see is that he's living that every second of the day, from the time he was injured to now, he's thinking about getting fit, working hard on being fit. You know, the frustration of not being fit, watching the team going into games where he wants to help them, but he can't help them. And then in the end, you know, you see him going over thanking people, because those are the people that on a daily basis, when you watch injured, those are the people that are almost like how can you say, like counsellors for them.
Yeah.
You know, it's speaking to them, mentoring them, keeping them going, keeping their spirits up, especially when the team's not going well, and everybody's saying to him probably when he's walking on the street, when are you coming back? When are you coming back? It's pressure. It's continuous pressure. So the way they've dealt with it, I'm really pleased, because like I was always worried about an injury like this coming for him. He's been playing so regularly since the age of 17. So we knew that at some stage this may happen. So, you know what I mean? It's over. You hope now that he's on the road to just continue to do what he's doing, like the star that he is.
Yeah, and at the tender age of
23, yeah.
He handles it so well, that pressure, like the expectation on him. The only thing is, from now until the end of the season, there are some big games, of course. We've got Everton on Saturday, and then, of course, Real Madrid next week. So how do you expect them to manage his minutes from here on?
Just, again, gradually building up. I think, more importantly, the next day or so, as his recovery. You know, all the things that have as Wright mentioned, your rehab to get back onto the pitch, it doesn't stop. It has to keep continuing because you're still rehabbing. But manage again his training load, manage his minutes maybe against Everton. But you'll want him to be available for at least 45 minutes if you could against Real Madrid. You know, that is the big one. You know, it was a great result tonight, but you have to look at that Real Madrid game and maybe see how he is, and you keep building him because you need him to be good in that Champions League because, you know, he's so important.
That's a major game. It's the game of the season for Arsenal. Obviously, if we were closer to Liverpool, the game in May would have probably been the game of the season. But we're talking about Real Madrid, the winningest team in that competition. And I don't want to jump ahead of Everton because it's going to be quite a big game as well, simply because they have to win that as well, depending on whatever Everton do against Liverpool. But I think that he probably gets some more minutes in Everton, probably similar to what he's done tonight. So as then, like Karen says, he can get a good amount of time against Real Madrid because, let's face it, we're missing Gabriel now. We probably miss that. We need all the best players we can get out there for that particular game because we know what the Champions League means to Real Madrid and how much they want to win that and how much good fortune they get in that tournament.
They just seem to know how to win
it's
it,
just,
don't they?
yeah. So, you know, we're going to need everything we can get.
But also, as players, aren't they the sort of games you dream of playing in? Because how often do you get to play the likes of Real Madrid in a Champions League game? I mean, it's massive, isn't it?
It is massive. It's huge. It's not like... It's nights like that. That's why you play football. And, you know, the thing from watching Arsenal tonight, when they were, at times, they do struggle to break teams down. And we've looked at his stats. He is the X factor. He is the star boy. He is the difference. You need that. And if you could have him for 30 minutes, 45 minutes, if you can do what Arsenal do is defend well at times, our defence will be good. I know it's obviously a big miss if they lose Gabriel, but if you can stay in the game and give him 20, 30, 40 minutes, he could give you something that could get you through. He's the difference, he's the X factor, so it'd be great to see him go and do that against a Real Madrid team.
Probably as well, Kaz, you probably need to go to Real Madrid with something. You know what I mean? You can't look at a Real Madrid side with the players that they've got and the capabilities and feel like they're not going to at least get a goal here. So you have to be going to the Bernabeu with something. But ideally, I'd like to see him playing against Everton, putting on the same kind of performance, showing the same kind of abilities, and then we could start maybe talking about Real Madrid, and hopefully he can make a massive difference in that game for us.
And what about Gabriel missing?
That's a massive miss.
Disappointment.
It's massive. It's just as big in respect of what Saka does for us going forward. Then Gabriel going the other way, set pieces. Leadership warrior that we need. You know, I think that whatever you say, the drop-off from Gabriel, I don't know how fit Calafiori is at the moment, but when you're looking at someone going that quick and you pull up like that, that's not 2 weeks. That's a month, that's 6 weeks. And, you know, you can see it there because he knows himself. You can see him saying it there because what he means to us. You can see it there
Even
with the win
manager there, when
you can see it.
He doesn't pull up. You know, Arteta was pretty honest. He doesn't pull up. He doesn't go down injured. And that's something if your own players don't do that, and he has today, that is a big concern.
Yeah, the win ratio there in that graphic just tells you everything.
The thing is, Seema, is that I know we're jumping ahead and speaking about Real Madrid because it is a massive game. It is the big game for the season for us. But you know, without Gabby Magalhaes in that game, and you know, you're looking at Kiwior, even today, there's a couple of positional moves that you just cannot afford to do when you play against Real Madrid because they're looking for any chink in the armour to exploit. And so you need people who are absolutely bang on it, you know, to be able to say you can keep Real Madrid to no goals at home would be something that if Gabby Magalhaes is there, I'd probably feel more confident about that.
Okay. Well, there was one other game as well tonight that we're going to focus in on now, and that was Wolves against West Ham.